Hi friends, in this video I am going to discuss the things related to the basic differences in the flexible payment and rigid payment. Okay, so it means what are, I know you are aware about most of the things, but these are simple basic differences. Okay, so let's start the video. Okay, so these are the means features I am going to describe. Okay, means what is the difference in terms of life and cost and when we can open to traffic like that. So these are the main means features in we are going to compare in both flexible payment and rigid payment. Okay, and then thickness, upgrade, what design code we need to refer, requirements, what are the requirements, and then temperature effect, night visibility, loading pattern, after giants are required or not, repairs, and then provision of underground works. Okay, so let's start one by one. Okay, so okay, as everybody knows, flexible payment life is somewhat less compared to the uh, rigid payment. It's short life, maximum 15 years. Okay, more than 15 years, no flexible payment can't be able to afford. Then perpetual payments are there. For that, you have to give some good materials and some different standards you have to follow for perpetual payment design. Okay, next in rigid payment, it's around 30 years you can because it is nothing but a slab design. Okay, so then cost initial cost is very low for flexible payment. Okay, for a normal initial cost is very high in rigid payment, but maintenance cost is very low in a rigid payment, but maintenance cost is somewhat higher in flexible payment. Okay, so this is the basic difference. You can have a picture. Okay, and then open to traffic. When we can open to traffic in flexible payment, we can open very shortly because there is no method of queuing. Okay, nothing, we can open directly within few days directly of, but rigid payment you need curing. Okay, curing because it is a concrete slab. Okay, water you have to pour and you have to maintain the branches, means then only after few days the concrete will gain the strength, then only you can open the able to traffic. Okay, so then this is the image, just image you can see, you can open to traffic very shortly in flexible payment. Next one is supervision and skills. Okay, while means doing any flexible payment execution, skills are not that much. Okay, means few means supervision engineers itself can able to operate. Okay, and then but rigid payment we need high skilled labors. Okay, not labors, engineers also required because it requires some design standards. Mixed design is also one of the basic criteria you have to follow while doing the rigid payment. Okay, supervisor. Then payment thickness. Payment thickness is high in flexible payment because around 4 to 5 layers will come bituminous concrete, DBM, and then granular sub base, whatever else, um, BCDBM. Okay, after that subgrade also will come around 500 mm. Okay, around 4 layers will come. Okay, and then and rigid payment somewhat lesser because its slab itself enough to carry the load. It's around 300 mm or else less than that. Okay, can you see here BCD, BMWMM and GSB layers. After that also you need that subgrade. So total around 1 meter around it will come. But in rigid payment very less. Means not very less compared to flexible payment it is less. Okay. So payment thickness I am just compared. Then one more thing, design code. What design code we need to refer for flexible payment? IRC 37. For rigid payment, IRC 58. Okay. Guidelines for design of flexible payments. Okay. IRC 58. If while doing any design of flexible payment, you need to refer this and then 58. That's it. No need to worry about any other codes. Okay. If you read these things enough and you have to prepare Excel sheets, I already prepared a series of playlist on rigid payment design. You can refer it. Okay. And then loading pattern. How the loading pattern in the flexible payment and rigid payment. Can you see? In rigid payment, okay, it is just nothing but a cantilever or beam type or slab, nothing but slab design. But here moving load is the criteria. But in flexible payment, elastic curve, elastic deformation. Okay, okay, that nothing but normal elastic deformation type. So this is the loading type. Okay, in a flexible and rigid. Okay, and then night visibility. Visibility is poor in the flexible payment and good in the rigid payment. That's why most of the expressways or else suppose in toll plaza locations we used to go for the uh, rigid payment. Okay, repairs. See, repairs are if you have any means occurrence of means payment fall down or also potholes or so many distresses. So many distresses occurs in the each payment, both payments. But repairs, how to do the repairs? Repairs are very easy to carry out in flexible payment because you have to lay the bituminous layer and something the material. And okay, uh, that's it. But somewhat difficult in a rigid payment because it is a slab type structure. If some cracks occurs, it is very difficult to means do the repairs for that cracking portion. Okay, so that's why you have to be very careful in the mix design process. Okay, concrete mix design and provision of double bars and tie bars. Okay, so these are the related to the repairs. So next one is temperature effect. Temperature effect is very high in rigid payment. Okay, because it is a slab type structure, so concrete always tends to give a stresses due to the temperature. Okay, but in flexible payment it is very less. Okay, because it's a bituminous type. Okay, and then requirements for design. What are the requirements while doing a flexible payment design and rigid payment design? For flexible payment, we need traffic in MSA and then CBR. These two are very enough, means enough, and few IITPO software and calculate the strains like that. But basic fundamental things are traffic and CBR. But in rigid payment, what are the things required? Axial load spectrum and then total volume of traffic. Okay, and then concrete related properties, all those things. Okay, I already prepared a video, you can have a look. Okay, so axial load spectrum is a very important thing in a rigid payment design. Okay, and then giants. Giants are not required in flexible payment, giants are required in a rigid payment. Okay, so because of these giants, the load transfer, everything will be beneficial in a rigid payment design. Okay, but in a bituminous road, it's a homogeneous structure, homogeneous layers are used to play a role. Okay, and then provision of underground works. Okay, okay, this is very important while doing any provision like utilities. See, can you see water utilities, gas utilities, some utilities near side to the road. Okay, if you want to provide that, okay, it is very easy in a flexible payment because you can dig it out and you can play the layers directly. But in rigid payment it is very difficult because it is a concrete structure type, so you can't remove and you can't lay because it causes a loss of the properties and it may damages and the entire uh, slab portion. Okay, so the provision of underground works is easy in flexible payment and difficult in rigid payment. Okay, that's it, guys. I hope you understood the basic means what are the differences in flexible payment, rigid payment. There are a number of videos, but just sorted out in a simple manner. Okay, design life, cost, or when we can open to traffic, supervision, what are the supervisions required, and thickness. Okay, and subgrade. Subgrade normally medium subgrade is required for the rigid payment, but in flexible payment you need a very good subgrade because rutting plays a very important criteria with respect to the subgrade properties. Okay, and what are the design codes and then requirements of design, temperature effect, night visibility, these are all I discussed it. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel. Okay, please share with your friends. Okay, that's it.